Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. Long before Jackie Chan took on the IRA in the fantastic action thriller The Foreigner, his previous workplace had already tackled a similar subject matter with Jimmy Wang Yu, Charles Hung and Angela Mao Ying in the lead. Golden Harvest was still quite a young studio at the time, and after the success of Bruce Lee, Big Boss Raymond Chow continued his mission of reaching out to a bigger international audience. Of course, what better way to do so than having James Bond himself, George Lazenby, play a Northern Irish Republican involved in a ploy to kill the Queen on a visit to Hong Kong. An interesting plot piece considering Northern Ireland was at the height of the Troubles during this point in time. Also known as International Assassins and Operation Regina, the film opens with an explanation of the refugee situation in Hong Kong, voiced over stock footage from the Vietnam War. The same footage that would later be reused at the beginning of Sammo Hung's Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. This is followed with footage from Queen Elizabeth II's visit to Hong Kong in 1975, which continues to show throughout, bringing a raw, realistic feel to it all, although I doubt she knew that she had ever starred in a Hong Kong action film. Compared to other Golden Harvest productions of this time, A Queen's Ransom moves along at a snail's pace, playing out like a 1960s spy drama with little excitement in its first half but for a quick skirmish between the late Jimmy Wang Yu and great Bolo Yeung. Although its story is complex and the film well made, perhaps casting a host of well-known kung fu stars in a film that presents itself as Golden Harvest's answer to the Hollywood hit Day of the Jackal wasn't really the greatest idea. This no doubt led to its abysmal box office takings during its release, with fans disappointed at the lack of action on offer. Not only that, but 1976 was a big year for Hong Kong cinema, with A Queen's Ransom having to go up against films such as Shaw Brothers titles like Seven Man Army, Boxer Rebellion, Black Magic 2, Challenge of the Masters, Killer Clans, and The Dragon Missile, along with classics like 18 Bronze Men, Blazing Temple, Bruce Lee, The Man the Myth, Hand of Death, Killer Meteors, New Fist of Fury, and Michael Hoy's Private Eyes, which was the highest grossing film at the time. Although the film was seemingly crafted towards an international audience, it didn't gain a UK release until a year later, and only hit North America in 1981, with the export cut coming in around 6 minutes shorter, cutting some sex scenes and slower moments, as well as intercutting some quick shots of The Man from Hong Kong, which came out just the year before. Although the story may be somewhat slow, ultimately failing to grip its audience quick enough, there is one thing A Queen's Ransom impresses on, and that's the cast involved, including Queen Elizabeth herself. A Queen's Ransom sees the re-teaming of Jimmy Wang Yu and George Lazenby together one more time after their reportedly rocky pairing on The Man from Hong Kong, the former James Bond actor's second film for Golden Harvest after the fun but slightly crazy Stoner that saw him star alongside the wonderful Angela Mao Ying. Here, Mao Ying plays the Princess of Cambodia, who quickly becomes the love interest of a young Dean Shek, the wonderful Hong Kong film legend who also doubles up as the assistant director. All play roles in the team of international assassins under the lead of George Lazenby, who stars as a Northern Irish terrorist, along with the aforementioned Bolo Yeung, the late great Peter Chan, prolific actors Chang Pei Shan, Hon Yi Sang, and Chang Ching Po. In the good corner, the handsome Charles Hung, founder of the popular Wins Entertainment and China Star Entertainment, stars as the cop that attempts to take them on, led by the late Ko Chang-seung, who stars as his police chief. The lovely Tani Tian-ni stars as Wang Yu's troubled, long-lost sister, while the prolific Hao Li-jen, who starred in over 230 movies between 1957 through to his death in 1978, plays Dean Shek's old uncle. The action, when it comes about, is handled by Luk Chun, a veteran of the Hong Kong film industry who has worked with Jimmy Wang Yu on a number of projects from his early days with Shaw Brothers. Although probably more recognisable to modern action fans for his role in the classic God of Gamblers, June has also starred in or directed the action and hits such as A Killer's Romance, Casino Raiders, Final Run, and the forgotten Jackie Chan low-way classic Magnificent Bodyguards. And while the action here in A Queen's Ransom does have its moments, it's mostly saved for its great finale, with Luke showing up throughout as one of Mao Ying's bodyguards. The film is beautifully shot by Chris Chen, the same eye behind hits such as The Big Boss, Fist of Fury, A Man Called Tiger, The Valiant Ones, Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, World of Drunken Master, The Young Master, and Dragon Lord, to name but a few. It was directed by Ting Shanxi, a man who had been working behind the camera from the late 1960s and was certainly no stranger to the Hong Kong film world, having penned the classic Come Drink With Me, as well as many Wang Yu flicks such as Furious Slaughter and Knight Errant, both of which he also directed. Although his filmography is pretty long, there aren't many titles that have been hailed as memorable hits, but that said, Ting has certainly left his mark, right up to his very last movie with Wang Yu's fun wuxia flick, The Beheaded 1000, aka The Executioner, in 1991. And while A Queen's Ransom may not have been one of his most exciting, it still makes for a fun watch. Neatly directed, beautifully shot, and entertaining in its own different kind of way.